I also every morning lay in bed and I visualize what I want. And I see, like when I wake up, I literally just lay there for an extra 2, 3, 4 minutes and I just kind of visualize and I'm thinking about the things that I want. So that happens every morning.
Are you willing to share an example?
Actual example. So from age of 20 to 26, probably 90% of the time, I would lay there and I would see myself on stages, big stages. And I would sit there and as soon as that image came up, I'd freak out. Like I'd imagine myself walking on a stage with an arena and I would literally just start sweating in bed. I'd lay there in bed, terrified, like just awfully uncomfortable because that wasn't me. But I was like, everyone was saying, your car accident story, Brennan, really made a difference in my life. This whole idea of having reverence for life and having, the intention of who you want to be, all these simple things that we talk about in personal development, but I'd share my story with people and think, oh my gosh, you need to teach that. And I was like, oh, I started hearing that. I said, maybe I'll learn to teach, I'll learn to talk. I'll be more expressive because where I'm from, I grew up in an Irish mining town that had been economically depressed for a century. Like men didn't communicate. There was no emotional expression. If their hands came above their waist, they were punching you in the face, I mean, it was a very physical and very violent place I grew up in, but there wasn't emotional expression. So I'd lay there and I'd see myself like talking and moving on stage. If you visualize yourself on stage, people watching now or listening now, if you close your eyes and you see yourself on stage, public speaking, with no podium, no notes to 10,000 people in an arena, most people will get clammy hands and start sweating if you really see it and think about it and feel it and put yourself there for 2 to 3 minutes. I did that for 6 years for 3 to 5 minutes every morning. I'd hear myself saying something. I'd see myself moving. I'd see the audience clapping or jumping up at the end. I'd see myself moving across the stage in ways I never moved. And that visualization created that skill set. Because then I'd go and sometimes I'd wake up and I was like, oh, that was good. And I'd try it out on the carpet. I'd get up and I'm like, oh, I like that. I'd try it out and I'd try it out just in my little dorm room, then my little apartment. And I was always trying things out and I always wanted to get better at it and I always wanted to get better at it. So it just depends. Sometimes there's a specific goal. Like right now I'm also working on some, major media goals. And so I'm seeing myself and hearing myself talk through the deal with the people I'm pitching. The second visualization I do in the morning comes later. So I get up in the morning, I drink 20 ounces of water, I do 20 minutes of mobility, movement, and stretching every morning. Then I read for 20 minutes, something positive. For me, it's almost always a self-help book or a leadership book, almost always. Sometimes a business book, almost always self-help and leadership. Read that book. Then I go and I sit down with my high-performance planner, my green tea. I fill out the day. Right? I look at the blocks of time that are already scheduled, and then what I do is my second visualization, which is I look at the major blocks of time that have been scheduled, just like this morning, and I close my eyes, and I think, how do I do that thing with excellence? What would make that thing special? So this morning, before I got here, when I thought about this, because there you go, my high-performance planner, impact theory, Tom Bilyeu, oh yes, 3 exclamation points, literally. So I looked at the schedule, I closed my eyes and I thought, okay, what do I want to communicate on Tom's show? How do I want that to feel? What do I want to communicate? So I literally closed my eyes and I visualized those blocks of time. And how would I do them well? That's a superpower. Most people write their day out and they just go about the day and then sometimes they come back to the plan and they go, oh my God, I didn't even do it. Because I sit there and I think about, how do I do that well? That's a game changer.